Hey guys, this is Wavejump here and welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be covering custom floor crafting. So actually, and I need to update my sub counter really quick. I'm currently at 336 subs as recording this episode, and custom floor crafting, if you didn't know, is basically when you drop multiple items on the ground and you have those items converge and form a different item as a custom crafting mechanism. So this is going to be a pretty interesting episode. I'm going to explain to you how this all works. And yeah, before we hop into this, really quick though, thanks to my patrons on Patreon for supporting me. As always, if you want to support me on Patreon, go ahead and check the link in the description down below, or tap or click on the button at the end of the video that looks like a little P. So we're going to go ahead and be covering floor crafting. This is episode 9. And yeah, we're already 9 episodes into this, which means we're about also 9 weeks into the series, which is pretty crazy. And actually, we're 10 weeks because last week I didn't have an episode out. As I'm going ahead over, by the way, to our little platform, I want to go ahead and explain to you something which is, well, first off, check out the channel update for other information about this, but I am trying out 60 frames per second recording, so if this is smoother than usual, then that's why. So let me know if it's smoother or less smooth than usual, and yeah, also, of course, always leave suggestions and check out my channel update for a bunch of important information about the channel. Alright. So anyways, the way this recipe works is we're gonna have 1 nether star plus 2 normal golden apples, and we're gonna have that equal 1 notch apple. So this isn't by any means meant to be a super balanced crafting recipe, but I was kind of bored and figured I would choose some random items in order to have this run. So what you're going to be learning to create by the end of this is 1 nether star plus 2 golden apples, bam, creating this notch apple. So it's actually not that difficult to do. And stay tuned and I'll show you how to do it. Alright, so the first thing you need to know is scoreboard tags. Now, I've covered this in the past, I believe, in one of my scoreboard videos, but for a quick refresher, you could add tags onto players for specific things. So for example, I could do scoreboard, players, tag, Wavejump games, add, and then admin. And then now I could do, say, add a tag admin, and it'll tell me every single person with the tag of admin. So it's just a way that you could work with selectors in order to cover admin stuff. Or, I mean, not admin stuff. I mean, in order to select certain items or entities or whatever using scoreboard. So this can be extra important when you need to do this custom crafting, because then you could select exactly which item you're going to end up performing custom crafting on. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create this command. Scoreboard players tag add type equals item. This part will be the same no matter what. And put this ideally in a repeating command block with always active on. And then add, because we're adding a tag to the item. And we're going to put whatever name you want. For the sake of this, I'm going to do item 1. You could always change it if you're doing your own. I'll try and, if I remember, put the commands in the description for this video specifically, because I know I typically don't, and this has a lot of long commands in it. Then you're going to do open curly bracket, item with capital I, colon, open curly bracket, ID, all lowercase, colon, quote, Minecraft, colon, and then what other item you want it to be, close quote, comma, count with a capital C, colon, and then the number of items you want. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 1 item. And then, yeah, count needs to be inside of the ID thing, and just double bracket close. Again, I'll leave all the commands in the description, and you could always look at it on screen. Just in case. So because we have this running, it means that every time we have 1 nether star, it's going to be tagged with the item 1 tag. So what I have here is it'll print out every item with an item 1 tag. So if I print that out, you'll notice it prints out 1 nether star. If you pick up this nether star, nothing happens. We have a very similar thing going on with this golden apple. So scoreboard players tag add type equals item. Again, same thing. Add item 2 this time. We're selecting the golden apple, and again, it's the same basic format. Count colon 2b, because we want to select 2 of the golden apples, and damage 0s. So the damage part is pretty simple, and essentially it means when you mouse over the item and you have, I believe, F3H enabled. So yeah, when you press F3 and H, it'll go ahead and change your view from just say golden apple and foodstuffs to golden apple 3220 foodstuffs Minecraft golden underscore apple. So yeah, what you see after the item number is what your item damage value is. And the reason that this is specifically important is when you look at a notch apple, it has a damage value of 1. So if we just went ahead and ignored the damage, then it would probably select as well notch apples, and we don't want our custom crafting to gobble up the notch apple after it's already been created from a normal apple. That just wouldn't be helpful. So you'll notice here now when I drop 2 golden apples, press this button, it prints out am.am.apple gold. Press it normally, nothing happens. 1, nothing happens. 2, something does happen. Pretty simple. You know, obviously you should have some prior command block knowledge before doing this because you might be confused otherwise, but it's not a huge deal, so yeah. Alright, so now we're going to be moving on to our string of command blocks here, and this is what has all the custom crafting have happened. Ugh, words are difficult, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear this or if you'll be able to hear me when I do this, but when I drop 2 golden apples and this, you'll hear a thunder effect, and there'll be some particles. Or I mean lightning effect. Anyways, yep, there we go. Now we have a golden apple, and it gobbled up 1 nether star and 2 golden apples. Okay, so our first command here is execute addy tag equals item 1. So we're taking our first item with a tag of item 1, and then what we're going to do is at its own location, we're going to execute at another item, which will be item 2, but it has to be in a radius of 1. So this is the way you execute and make sure that you're going to be executing with another item within the same radius. So that's something super important with custom crafting. I'm not going to covering multiple item floor crafting here because that gets a bit more complicated, but I think all you'll need to do really is just add another execute onto the end of this. But anyways, yeah, then you're going to do well, first of all, I want particles, right? And the specific particle I'm using is called red dust. If you don't know how to use this particle command, check out my particle tutorial, which I just recently did, I believe. I'm doing it at its location, expanding out 1, 1, and 1 in X, Y, and Z, so that there's kind of an area of effect thing, with a speed of 0.4, 40 different particles, and using force. So, yeah, so now you notice again, right, you see... Oops, wrong apple. And again, that's why I have that safeguard in place. Bam. You see all that particles around there, and that's all caused by this first command block. You don't need this, but I do personally love the particles and think they're really cool. So actually, let me go ahead here, and I'll give you what core commands you do need. Alright, so what you do need is execute at e item 1 and execute at e tag equals item 2 radius of 1. And this whole section right here will be necessary for every single command you want to do regarding these. So yeah, here's the sound, and I'll get back to that later. But here's the really important one, which is in order to get the actual golden apple summoned in. So what we're doing is executing. Again, we've covered this whole execute part, and it's super important. Then we're going to do summon item, and then the 3 tildes, because we're doing it at its own location, item ID, Minecraft underscore golden apple, because we want to summon in a golden apple. And we have damage :1s, and this is super important, because without this, it would summon in a normal golden apple, and then, you know, it's not gonna work. And we're summoning in only 1. Count 1b is super important, because otherwise it doesn't actually summon in anything for some reason. And one thing that I think I should also mention here is in order to find the data of any item you want to summon, you just do entity data, i.e. our type equals item, r equals 5 after you've dropped it on the floor around you, and then the 2 curly brackets, and you'll notice here, it gives me all this information. So it's motion, right, not super important to us. UUID least, health, invulnerable, air on the ground, dimension, portal, cooldown, rotation, thrower, fall distance, item. So this item thing is what we need, right? So you know, this is exactly what we have in our summon command. Item : ID Minecraft golden apple, count 1b, damage 1s. Super important, and you do need that command in order to have anything work. The next 2 commands will be kill ID tag equals item 1 and kill ID tag equals item 2. You notice all these are conditional and always active. Pretty important as well, because you don't want to kill them before they were actually crafted. And then, yeah, so there's also, right here, we're playing the lightning impact sound, so pretty simple there as well. And let's see. Yeah, so we just have the particle and the lightning impact sound. It's pretty simple, but it's not easy for beginners, I wouldn't say. So yeah, again, now when I do this, oops, and I always do them in the wrong order, but there you go. You'll notice that we have this golden apple, and we could add any other command blocks to make these do whatever else you want when you're doing it. Now, one thing I will tell you right now, by the way, is one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to summon a lightning bolt there. Because I was like, oh, how cool would it be to have a lightning bolt strike when they actually custom crafted to create this super dramatic effect, right? But you can't do that because it kills the items. So yeah, just an FYI, you could probably have it run after the items were crafted, but then you would have the risk of destroying the crafted item. So in general, just yeah, it's safest not to do it. I think you could probably add an invulnerable tag onto the items, but that's, you know, then getting a lot more complicated and unnecessarily so. Alright, so guys, that is the gist of the custom crafting. I will probably for this episode have a world download. If you ever want to see the world downloads for an episode, you could go to my website, wavejump.us, and click on the button that says creations at the top of the screen, and you could always see world downloads. So I have world downloads for my 1.10 version of this world, and I think I also have the 1.11 episode one on there. So I'll probably upload this because obviously those commands are pretty important, and I don't know if I'll do both the commands in the description and the world download. I'll probably choose one or the other, but I might do both if I have time. But yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, go ahead and leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Consider supporting me on Patreon. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.